Story 1, exercise, journaling, long walk with an audiobook or podcast. Story 2, going for a walk always helps. Fresh air, stretching your limbs, and you might see a bird or a cat or maybe even a cute dog. Doing something productive but low stimulation, preferably with no screen involved, with your hands can also be soothing. I like baking for this, but any kind of creative craft or art will do. If I am really paralyzed by sadness, a cup of tea and a comfort show can help calm me enough to try the other two. Story 3, honestly, running. To be clear, I absolutely hate it, but I recently read that it helps your body complete the stress cycle. Story 4, it used to be daily marijuana consumption, but I was only running away from my thoughts. Now it is healthy food and exercise. Story 5, gym, walking, any movement. It's just hard to start sometimes. Story 6, my dog loafs like a cat. I will loaf next to her on my bed and pretend we are bread on the shelf of my local Publix bakery. Story 7, avoid watching the news frequently. Only watch it occasionally to catch up on current events. It seriously helps my depression, as the news would cause what I call flare-ups in my depression. I mostly just pay attention to news about my favorite video games and franchises now. Story 8. Being out in the sun helps me a lot when I have an off day. I love sunbathing. Unfortunately, I live in the Netherlands. Story 9. I have to get my hair cut when I'm feeling bad. It brings back my confidence a bit. It doesn't cure the depression but makes me feel less reclusive. It's so easy to forget about grooming and hygiene when you're depressed. Sometimes I don't have the energy to shower, but once I get cleaned up, I feel so much better. Story 10, tried out Scream Yoga once. You realize how many pent-up emotions you really have. Story 11, depends on the cause of the depression. If it is a loss of control over my life, I need to find something to do that gives me purpose and makes me feel like what I do has some effect on my long-term life outcomes. If it is loneliness, I need to take my mind off it with friends, games, or other activities. If it is guilt, I need to completely let the feelings play out in my head and think about what I could have changed. Had I known then, and could not change then but can now that I know better. Story 12. Driving aimlessly outside of the city with my windows down and music all the way up, notably during the day because the sun is what I actually needed. Late night drives when the roads are empty are also good to release jitters and anxieties as a reset. Story 13. Meditation. I never want to do it, but I always feel better afterward. Story 14. Talking to people. I mean real conversation with kind individuals who care about you. Story 15. Unironically, masturbating. If I can have a session once or twice a week, I feel better. Story 16. Night with a nice breeze. Taking a walk in a warm hoodie. Earbuds in, listening to video game music or alternative indie music outside. Starry night. During winter, turning off all the lights, lighting a candle, getting a cup of hot cocoa, playing light music in the background, and watching a blizzard through the window with it slightly cracked to hear the shhh of the snow moving. Story 17. I take a walk, clean up my space, and drink water. It is not magic, but it helps. Story 18. Baking, the smell, working with your hands, the warmth of the oven. Also, going out once a day, even if it is just to grab a cup of coffee. Candlelight is also very nice. Story 19. Nature. Get me into nature and I pay attention to it. Feel the breeze, listen to the sounds, smell the air, take in the energy. Puts things into perspective for me. Story 20. Taking care of myself. Fresh hair, makeup, perfumes, being feminine, and working out. Story 21. Shower or bath, face treatment, clean loungewear, good meal, treating yourself to good delivery, listening to a live album. Story 22. Junk food is less healthy, but it makes my mind feel healthier. Story 23. I read care as cake. I think cake is an excellent choice for self-care. So yeah, cake. Story 24. Anything that is a distraction, carrying a load or burden, or serving someone else, engaging with friends and family. Story 25. None. Self-care does nothing for me. My hobbies bring enjoyment, not self-care. Story 26. Taking a hot shower or bath to relax and not necessarily to clean myself. Story 27. It depends for me, but last time I felt overwhelmed and down. I took a nice long shower and made sure to use my luxury products. I exfoliated, shaved, used body wash, and then applied body oil afterwards. Then I lay on the bed and let the fan lightly blow on me while I just tried to exist in calmness. Story 28. Drumming. I have been at it for 5 years. After working in retail, nothing feels better than putting on some loud music and just playing. I feel immensely better after playing 3 metal songs. Story 29. A cup of tea helps me get through the day and survive. Story 30. Having a warm or hot bath deep enough to lie in it up to my neck helps calm me down and collect my thoughts. Story 31. Is massage considered self-care? I am paying for it as a treat to myself every month. Story 32. Self-care can certainly help you feel better, but to treat depression, you should consider speaking to a licensed therapist or medical professional. Story 33. Eating good food is like being in the supermarket and actually buying the fruit I like, and seafood if it is under $20. My favorite protein shake is isolated pea protein. That is the best care for me. Some people say clothes or shoes, but nothing looks better than a person who is in great health. Story 34. Resistance training is great for your mental and physical health. Story 35. Writing is ironic because it takes me so long to actually sit down and write, but when I do, it feels like releasing all my tension. Story 36. Brushing my teeth and flossing can be done in bed if necessary, but it makes me feel much cleaner. Story 37. Lifting heavy weights and getting stronger makes you feel like you could wrestle a silverback, though I do not recommend it. Story 38. I have to take a day off. On that day, I clean, take a nice warm shower, cook a new recipe I found online, then eat while watching a show, anime, YouTube videos, memes, or just listen to music and try a new hobby. Story 39. Swimming and walking. Getting outside. Being reminded of how small I am. Story 40. Warmer weather so I can enjoy sitting on my back porch. I call it back porch therapy. Story 41. Getting a massage just makes all of the stress melt away. Story 42. A hot shower works for me. Bonus points if I scrub like I am trying to erase a bad week. Also, getting outside, even if it is just to walk around the block or sit somewhere with trees. It does not fix anything magically, but something about sunlight and movement makes my brain stop yelling for a minute. Story 43. Being productive for yourself and not needing money to motivate you to do it. Story 44. Walk, shower, swim, or bathe and put on fresh clothes. It is like a new start. Story 45. Binging a really good television show or movie. Real conversation with a genuine friend. An incredibly firm massage with elbows. Cooking my favorite meal. Story 46. Hot bubble baths. Giving myself a manicure. And really taking time to do my makeup. It becomes like a ritual almost. Story 47. Hot showers feel like hugs to the nervous system. Upbeat music gets me bopping to the groove or singing along. It provides energy and prevents ruminating on the past. Talking to people I know and meeting new people helps me connect deeper with existing connections and create new ones. This gives me a sense of community to keep my feet underneath me. I try to tell the people I know and meet how grateful I am for their support, as it has been my strongest lifeline. Even meeting someone once, if approached with the right mindset and questions, can be very helpful. I always ask a date what dating advice they would give someone new to dating. It is always interesting to see their suggestions and learn why those values are important to them. It opens my inexperienced eyes and helps me grow as a person. Story 48. Hard rave. There is something dopamine-related that lasts for a few days afterward, immersing you in incomparable peace, like bliss. However, you need to burn at least 2,000 kilocalories in absolute madness to achieve it, preferably drug and alcohol-free. Story 49. Cleaning up my space. Reading. Playing video games. Taking a nice long shower. Story 50. Putting my phone down. I feel 10 times better when I am not doom scrolling. Story 51. Turning off my phone and going for a walk for about an hour. Story 52. Put on energetic music and jump rope for 30 minutes a day. Story 53. There are known scientific answers to this. 1. Turn your phone off. 2. Walk outside in the sun without your phone. If you are worried about getting lost, walk in a straight line or keep your path as simple as possible. As it becomes a habit, it will get very easy to navigate without a phone. Remember that all humans were able to do this throughout history until about 17 years ago. 3. Practice meditation, ideally without using any apps because smartphones are known to increase anxiety and depression. For some people, smartphones are the source of their anxiety, depression, or eating disorders. Being constantly connected to the internet is not good for you, especially social media. Hedge chukungs. As social media for the sake of this advice. Being unfocused, noticing it, and refocusing is doing meditation correctly if you think you are bad at it. There are many different types of meditation, so if you think meditation is not for you, you really need it, and likely a different type than you have tried so far. 4. Ayurvedic diets can be very helpful because you have a large number of neurons in your gut, so your gut microbiome dramatically affects your physical and mental health. For point 1. Drink water. No flavorings, just plain water. Story 54. Microneedling is one of my favorite aesthetic treatments, and I am also qualified to perform it. It makes your face feel raw initially, but I know it always leads to better results. Story 55. Good sleep, drinking water, and staying off my phone for a while are basic, but they help. Story 56. Sleeping, petting my cats, eating healthy, autonomous sensory meridian response, being in nature, like walking in the forest or gardening. Story 57. I do a daily gratitude list each morning and try to meditate each morning. It has made a huge impact on my mental health. Story 58. Honestly, a hot bath and some alone time. I know as a man, a bath is not the norm, but I enjoy them. I would use a hot tub if my apartment would not get upset about skinny dipping. Story 59. Running is the most freeing feeling ever after a few weeks. Story 60. Just driving somewhere. I once drove so far I ended up in Poland, and I live in northwestern Germany. So if you like driving and you feel dead, just do it. Story 61. Just taking a shower. It feels even better if I condition my hair afterward. Story 62. Taking a hot shower and eating a special meal. That meal you treat yourself to every now and then. Story 63. Going for a walk at the park, journaling sometimes, washing my hair. I do not know why, but I feel like all my troubles and hair grease leave with the shampoo. Playing sports, baking. Story 64. Tending to the plants, taking a nap, a bath, and listening to dance music. Story 65. Exercise and cooking. Diet is the most important factor for me since I went from eating out every day to cooking at home most of the week. Story 66. Exercise routine and a sense of hope for the future. To be 20 again. Story 67. Cleaning my space, changing my bed sheets, then taking a shower and sleeping. When my head starts to clear up a bit, I start analyzing the causes that may be making me feel this way and whether there is a way to change these causes or take action. Story 68. A really hot bubble bath with so many bubbles that it looks like a 3-year-old ran the bath for you. Story 69. Cardio, painting, long walks, building Lego sets, and taking nice bubble baths or enjoying a sweet treat. Story 70. Tackling a mess. Whether it is vacuuming or doing a jigsaw puzzle, it is the feeling of seeing something messy and resolving it that sparks happiness. Story 71. Listening to podcasts. Spending time with my cats. Learning a new language or a new skill. Belly dancing helps because you cannot be unhappy doing it. Swimming relieves depression through the feeling of being in water. And definitely Korean skincare. Looking better and putting effort into your appearance helps a lot. It is also a lot of fun. Story 72. Cleaning around the house, doing my nails, applying a mud face mask, playing some good music, enjoying warm coffee in the morning, and putting on some perfume. Story 73. Haha, I have probably done most of the activities, and most of them make me feel better. Whether it is cleaning my home, going for a walk, sprinting, or swimming, physical activities help. Story 74. Moderate exercise and grooming activities such as washing my hair and waxing. Story 75. A walk in the forest. An early night. A couple of days of eating nutritious meals. Story 76. I have learned it is not necessarily the action that makes me feel better. It is the intention of self-care that makes me feel good inside. Story 77. Honestly, my dog. We are going to have her put to rest in a few weeks, so God knows what I will do then. Story 78. It seems silly, but taking a shower, even if I do not feel like it, makes everything look different once you get out. Story 79. In this order: turn your phone off, leave it somewhere inside, and go for a walk. Shower while listening to your favorite music. Eat something healthy, such as an apple with peanut butter. Finally, do something you love. Just try to stay off technology. Story 80. Cutting out all liquids except water, coffee, and occasional sugar-free sports drinks. Story 81. Changing and washing all of my bed sheets. Take some time, but you don't feel nearly as unpleasant afterward. Story 82. Regularly spending time in green spaces for walks and having someone grounded to talk to who can help me gain perspective. Story 83. Getting my nails done, exercising, and snuggling with my cats. Story 84. I clean. It is the one thing that I can control in my life and know the outcome, while everything else is out of my control and results are a mystery. Story 85. Getting sunlight first thing in the morning. Lifting heavy weights like I am fighting off demons. Hot showers with good music. Cleaning my space so my mind can breathe. Writing my thoughts out, even the ugly ones. Reminding myself I am not my low days. They pass. They always do. Sometimes the best self-care is just showing up for yourself, even if all you can manage is brushing your teeth and drinking water. Story 86. I have several activities. Cleaning, which is usually my top go-to. Spending time with my cat, exercising, and journaling. Also, just getting out of the house helps. Doing something simple like taking myself to the movies or getting my nails done works wonders for my mood. Story 87. Seeing the true beauty of the world and everything in it. Story 88. Practice gratitude. Be thankful for your life, for the world, and for yourself. Appreciate all the people who put in effort to help strangers on the internet. This list is endless. Stop and think of the things you love. Do push-ups and planks until you cannot do anymore. Then do it again. These exercises can be done anywhere. Go get out of the house, preferably into nature. Story 89. Fresh cut mowed grass. I guess it is not really self-care but more work that helps me afterward. Plus, it looks appealing. Story 90. Baking, mostly pies and cakes, helps me manage my stress and depression. Story 91. I do push-ups throughout the day, around 60 to 75 per day so far. Story 92. Gardening, cleaning, and a long soak in a hot bath. Story 93. Walking in the woods and taking time to really appreciate all the nature I see. Admire every flower, tree, or fungus that I come across. Stop and look for frogs and turtles when I am near a body of water. If a neat bird flies by, stop and look at the bird. Touch the long grass as I walk by it. Story 94. Getting off social media. I book an emotional release session online once a month. Besides that, I enjoy cozy rituals. Story 95. I finally shaped my pubic hairline. I have reached a point where I prioritize self-care the most. Story 96. I have not consumed alcohol at all, since it is a depressant. Additionally, activities known to support mental health include exercise, weightlifting, walking, and eating healthy. Story 97. Everything. Shower, putting on makeup, lotion, and perfume. Story 98. Applying my favorite perfume makes me feel so much better. Story 99. A smoothie, but I cannot be bothered to wash a blender after working at a coffee shop. Story 100. Everything showers followed by moisturizing my body and feet, then laying in clean sheets is always going to do it for me. Story 101. Doing something where I am not just consuming television, food, YouTube, and so on, but where I am creating. Preferably in reference to the things I liked to do as a child. Writing stories, drawing, even making a gift for a loved one. Those are the things that put life in a better perspective for me. Story 102. Spending time with nature. Praying. Exercising. Having a positive mindset. Story 103. Exercise and going outside. Also, little tasks that I have to do anyway, such as shaving, trimming nails, and plucking eyebrows. Story 104. Getting a facial. Unfortunately, I can rarely afford it, but I feel great afterward. Story 105. Honestly, masturbation doubly so if I am swimming in water while doing it. Story 106. Walks and neighborhood walks are great, but if you can get out into nature, you will feel amazing. Story 107. Wearing makeup, I tell myself that if I can do this, I am not at the point of completely giving up on myself. It motivates me to take care of myself and not let myself deteriorate. Story 108. Early morning walks on a nice day, baking, sitting in the sunshine, spending time with a dog, anybody's dog. Story 109. Exercise with people like a martial arts class or dance. I have never gone and wished I had stayed home. Convincing myself to leave the house, though. Story 110. Going to the gym really helps people when they are feeling down. A simple walk can also help. It is important to get moving. Story 111. There is something therapeutic about taking long evening or nightly walks. When you pass by stores closing, see people returning from work, and hear the sound of shutters closing, it feels like your environment is healing, and you get to witness that. Story 112. For me personally, reading, writing, drawing, or almost anything that I have to do with my hands works well, but only when I am listening to a YouTube video or music. YouTube works better in my case, but I do not know about you. Sending hugs to anyone who needs it. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.